Away we go. We're rocking, we're rolling. This is it, episode 519.
I like that number.
Yeah, No Laugh Track Podcast. Justin Severson here with my returning guest. It has been 4 years. We have not spoken from this stage since there was this COVID pandemic.
Since the pandemic, yeah. I taped my special right before the pandemic.
Yeah, that is. Did I say right? That is the voice of Jeff Cesario. That is the face of Jeff Cesario. We're on YouTube.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube right now?
Well, when this gets posted, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hello,
Hi.
YouTubers. I have a YouTube channel now. I'm slowly trying to pad it out with clips. It's called Jeff Cesario Comedy New and Used. And I'm just posting, like, I got my old Tonight shows up there. I got some of them. I have some of my old clips from when I worked on the Queen Latifah daytime show, and I did, like, sketches and stuff, and then some stand-up sets. And,
I don't know if I've seen any of the sketch from Latifah stuff. Interesting.
Oh, I did a bunch of stupid stuff. Go to my YouTube channel. Go to Jeff Cesario YouTube, and you'll...
As I was briefly telling you before we started this, I found some stuff
Folks, I'm gonna
about
be
you
eating
in the
during
past
this.
that I love when I do a search online and things pop up and I'm like, where did this come from?
Oh, man.
I have some of this about you today. I don't know. Do you remember last time when you were here? I brought up that I had found some clips of you on Evening at the Improv. Do you remember discussing this?
I do, and I thought, those will never see the light of day. And now they make a little money for me every month.
You're kidding me.
No, because they use them on Sirius. Sirius XM, the comedy channels, and my album that I recorded here makes 97% of the money. But then I get a trickle because they play those clips somewhere on Sirius every now and then.
No kidding.
Maybe the Improv is a channel or something. I'm not sure, yeah.
Oh, I wonder how they set that up. Like, here's a classic clip.
Yeah, I don't know. And this pumpkin muffin is delicious.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did a lot of baking. I hope you appreciate that.
Warm, fresh out of the oven here at the Acme Comedy Company Bakery.
Truth be told, Jeff and I did a little excursion upstairs to get some coffee and
It's delicious.
delicious pastry. That is true. The name of that album that you recorded last time you were here, What Was I Thinking?
Yes.
Available everywhere, obviously.
Yes.
Was there ever a physical copy of that?
I don't believe so. I would have to check with 800-pound gorilla, but I don't think so.
No. You don't have them like you're standing
No, I'm
outside.
not peddling them outside
No
or
peddling.
anything like that, no.
Did you bring anything with? You pedal?
I would be not good at that. Not good at peddling wares outside the stand-up show.
You just set them there and say, leave what you want.
The whole personal interaction is hard. The rejection is impossible. And what are you going to sell? You probably sell 10. I mean, you can do well. I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm just saying, so you sell 20, which would be impressive, I think. That means 200 people didn't buy one. And that's all I would obsess on for days. I could not. Why not? Wasn't I funny? And so I don't do it.
So, how many people didn't buy them?
Right.
Could you sum up your weekend? How many people didn't? That's fantastic.
And Italian eating. That's not, I don't know if they've ever done a podcast about that. An Italian eating.
A plate of meatballs, eh? When you were here in I got to point something out. When you were here in 2019 and we did the podcast, we were. It was right about this time of year, as a matter of fact.
Almost to the day.
Almost to the day, the end of September, right around the baseball playoffs starting. And
Yes.
And that year, the Twins had just clinched the Central Division. They were about to play the Yankees. And you said, because I listened back to this, you said, I think they got a chance this year.
And they did not.
They were swept in 3 games.
Yeah.
And
Which they've been apparently they haven't won in 18 games. Is that it? The postseason?
18 game losing streak in the playoffs.
Wow.
2004 is the last time they won a playoff game.
That's a lot because they're usually like 3-game series.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, this isn't one and done. This is you're losing multiple times.
that's like 6 series they've lost straight in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So the Twins also, I want to say that they made the playoffs again the next year, that weird COVID season in 2020. Oh, no, maybe they did in 2020. Anyways, 2021 is what it was. They made the playoffs again. See the shirt I have right here, Jeff?
Wow.
It's just a generic, it just says playoff shirt.
Wow.
So I bought this a few years ago, 2021, end of the season. Twins make the playoffs. I'm like, I'm going to get this cool, fun playoff shirt.
Yeah.
By the time it was delivered,
They were out.
Eliminated
Wow.
from the playoffs.
Boy, even Amazon can't beat the Twins. That's impressive. That's how quick they're out of the picture.
Yeah, so I'm busting it out now just in anticipation of next week's, hopefully maybe a win or two.
Who are they playing?
We don't know yet.
Maybe Texas, is it?
Possible? We don't know yet.
Oh, it would be. Is it a division winner, or
It's-
are you
no, we're,
in the?
we're a division winner, so it's one of the wild cards. It's like the worst wild card, I believe.
The worst wild card and the worst division winner play each other. Is that?
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
We'll go with it, yeah. And then it's 3 home games.
Oh, all 3 games will be here.
Yeah, they've completely changed things. Yes, all 3 home games. So it's a
Wow.
huge advantage.
Boy, if they don't win this year, really, they got to move the franchise.
And it won't
They
be
gotta
against the
try
and it won't
something.
be against the Yankees.
No, the Yankees absolutely imploded.
Yeah, big time.
Which was kind of fun to see.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, no, there's no problem there. But yeah, the Yankees are just a mess. They're like they. I imagine their clubhouse to be what the kitchen is on the Bear. Just people arguing and just constant loud conversations and things breaking and clacking around, and that's what I imagine the Yankee clubhouse was like this year. Just people screaming at each other constantly.
I think that's accurate. Have you seen? We're going to get all the sports talk out of the way here since we already started here. I want to Miguel Cabrera, future Hall of Famer, right? Mm-hmm. And this is his farewell tour that he's doing, right? He's going to every stadium that the Tigers have played in. The home team is like, it's tradition. I don't know when this started, but when these guys do like their farewell tour, these home teams will give them a present.
Yeah, they gave, the Dodgers gave Miguel Cabrera something. I can't remember what it was.
I have it written down here. They gave him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Oh, nice.
And then they gave him a check for his charity. Now,
Wow.
I got another good example. The Arizona Diamondbacks, they gave a $10,000 donation to his charity. And they gave him a retirement vacation someplace for his family.
Wow.
Very cool stuff, right?
I remember last year, I think it was, we gave Pujols, and I say we now because I'm a Dodger fan. My wife was a big Dodger fan, and I just went, all right. So I started rooting for them, and we weren't supposed to have much of a year this year, and we won the division again. And B, I think they could be sneaky decent in the playoffs. Their whole starting pitching rotation, with the exception of Kershaw, is gone. But they have all these kids who are like, duh, playoffs, what does that mean? I think I'll just throw hard again. So I don't think they know quite what's happening, and I think that could work to their advantage. That's what I'm hoping. That's my theory.
Yeah.
They gave Albert Pujols golf clubs.
Oh.
Like these beautiful sets of golf clubs.
Nice. The only thing that would make that weird is if he doesn't play golf, but I would assume he probably does. Did you see what the Oakland Athletics gave Miguel Cabrera?
Box seats at Oakland Alameda County Stadium.
That would have been an upgrade. Now, the Oakland A's, of course, known for being super cheap, low payroll. They've lost over 100 games this year. Absolutely terrible. Rumors that they might move the team to Las Vegas.
I think they're definitely moving.
Probably. What did the Oakland A's give Miguel Cabrera? They
Give me a hint.
well, it's something he can't use because of his past.
Oh, my God. I don't know what.
They gave him a bottle of wine.
Oh, a bottle of wine?
Yeah, and in 2010, he spent 3 months in outpatient treatment for alcoholism.
Wow. So they gave him wine, hoping to get him off the wagon, figuring maybe they could trade for him. There had to be an ulterior motive. They couldn't have just been that dumb to just give an alcoholic wine. Wow.
And then someone looked up how much the bottle of wine is. $90.
Wow. Man, I don't think much of Miguel Cabrera in the East Bay.
Terrible.
Wow.
Terrible. All right. This is going to get us to sort of move away from sports, but not exactly, because I want to know, where's Chet Waterhouse these days?
Wow. Funny you should ask, and perfectly I'm finishing eating after the sports segment. You should always eat through a sports segment. That's my belief.
I always assume the news anchors are doing that.
That's hilarious. That would spice up the sports. You know, if the cutaways were a guy, eating an egg muffin. It's good.
It's for the review next segment.
Yeah.
Where's Chet?
Chet went on a break because I wanted to shift my podcast to something else. So it's called the Writer's Room now.
Yeah.
And I talk to writers and comedians about the writing process. And it's less work intensive for me because I often know the people I'm talking to, and I can do some prep, and I can go a little more stream of consciousness with it. And I tape once every 2 weeks and split it into 2 shows.
Yeah.
Because my workload at home was picking up because I do most of the stuff around the house, physical stuff. So I'm putting in some pretty long hours is what I'm saying, toting the mop and lifting the bale and all that stuff. So I wanted something that was a little less labor intensive, and I wanted something, but I wanted to keep it going because I haven't had the time yet to figure out how to monetize it. And I got to do that, and that's just taking the time to hit social media, get the clips out there of my stand-up, get the clips out there of the podcast itself.
Yeah.
And like take an hour a day and do marketing on social media of my product. And I just haven't had the time to do that yet. So once the dust settles in a couple of other areas, I'll do it. But in the meantime, oh, geez, I didn't even post the new one this week yet because I hit the road. But I'll save it for next week. It's the part 2 with the Mankiewicz brothers, Josh and Ben Mankiewicz. Josh is the correspondent on Dateline.
Oh, yeah, I listened.
And Ben is the guy on TCM. He's the guy on TCM.
Yeah.
And they're a blast. So part 2 is really funny. Look for it next Wednesday. I'll probably just keep it up. It posted, but I'll keep it up and promote it next week.
So I hopped around and listened to some maybe year-old episodes. I listened to a few of the newer ones when you've obviously moved to the writer's room
right.
topic. And on the drive over here, actually, I was listening to one from, I don't know, it was within the last year. It was with who I had on the podcast last week, Jackie Cation.
Oh, yeah, she's fantastic.
Really fun listening to you two talk about Wisconsin stuff back and forth. But I wanted to say that in that one, you were doing the, which I don't know that you're still doing, and I love, is still doing the interview, but then still throwing this is brought to you by... And doing your
Boy, I
Chet
don't know why I was throwing those in. She may have requested a few, or I don't remember, but I did. Yeah,
so you're not even throwing those in anymore.
No, I did with the Mankiewicz brothers at the end because Josh had written a couple for himself, and he said, so I teed him up as Chet and did it. And then the first time Chet's made a full-blown public appearance was this morning on KQ.
Oh,
with Gorman, I did a full-blown 2.5, 3-minute Chet Waterhouse update.
You did,
yeah.
So now that you're doing the podcast without using that character,
yeah.
I mean, as you sort of said, it's less work for you, have more time for other stuff. However, aren't you like, how do I say this? Like that was working your comedic brain of writing more, and now you're not doing that.
No, but I am. I wrote a kid's book. And now I have to market that.
You wrote a kid's book?
Yeah. It's a really good book. It's called Fetch. It's about a pampered Afghan hound show dog that washes out of a big competition, has to escape a new evil trainer, and winds up in upstate New York finding his inner dog and discovers that he is actually great as an agility dog. Those dogs that run those courses, they're usually smaller dogs. But he's this giant, 5-foot Afghan hound. And that's what he loves, and that's what he's good at. And he befriends a 13-year-old girl, and she helps him become an agility dog. It's a really cute story, very funny, if I do say so myself. And there's some good heartwarming moments in it. And now I'm on the prowl for an agent. So I'm hitting a couple of websites that do that. So I'm kind of in a business mode now, learning how to find an agent for the book, learning what I need to market the podcast, learning what I need to market my stand-up a little more, because now as COVID recedes, I will probably hit the road a little more. And I want to be able to generate more audience in markets that aren't Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I still do well here. I'll do well in Milwaukee or, a couple other places in the Midwest, Chicago, probably Cleveland, maybe Denver. But, any other market, and even those markets, I want to be able to boost. So I'm finding the business ways to do it. And that is not my forte. The business end of it has never been my forte. But, I had an interesting podcast with Jeff Foxworthy not too long ago. I think it was still as Chet, though. So you'd have to go back to those probably a year ago, maybe. But, Foxworthy, from the outside, looks like just an absolute brilliant, first of all, brilliant comedian, tremendous writer. So we had fun talking about the writing process with him, but also like just a sharp business guy. He's always done his own thing, and he has not, succumbed to any sort of super mainstream thing. I got to do it. The network's making me. He's never been in that position, yet he's done well and is essentially a household name. And I remember driving out from the Midwest to California in '83 and seeing his tapes at truck stops.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, who is this dude and how did he get this? Man, this dude is brilliant. So I asked him I said, how did you, and my question that I was driving to, and you'll appreciate this as an interviewer, was, have you always been, had a knack for the business end of it, or did you learn it? But prior to that, I said, how did you get those tapes into so many truck stops? Because my entire drive out, I just saw your tapes.
Him and Charlie Daniels.
And he said, I sold the rights to a guy for $7,500. So I did not see any of that. And I said, well, that strikes my second question, which is, have you always been a great businessman?
Yes, it does.
And he laughed heartily for about 10 seconds, and he said, yes, I did learn from that, but no, I was not always a good businessman.
Wow.
So I figured, okay, if Jeff Foxworthy can learn from the ground up and make that level of mistake and then become a really savvy person, I can do it too. So I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Or just hire the right people. There you go.
People are doing that too.
Yeah, that hiring thing. That would be a boon.
Do you have a TikTok account, Jeff?
I do, but I haven't posted. I only posted one thing on it like 4 years ago. I'm going to focus, I think, on YouTube and Facebook and X just to drop things for business. Then the YouTube channel will have everything I do, and I got to do something there every other day or so. So I'm posting much more regularly there. And then I'll see what else I incorporate.
How your daughter, you can put her to work now.
She is good on that stuff. She's good. So we may, we're at that stage now where we've been holding off on getting her phone. So now we may get her a phone, but I think it's
congratulations on that. My goodness.
It's going to be a Princess Dial phone, I think is what. Come on, everybody. I'm looking back like there's a crowd back there. What are you going to do?
I do, I also, one of my other jobs is painting, interior, exterior.
Mm-hmm.
I was working in a house yesterday with an older couple that lives there. And when a phone starts ringing in one of the rooms, and then this room and this room and this room, like,
yeah. It's like the house is on fire. Get out. You don't know what to do.
I forgot what that was like. It's been so long.
Yeah, with the 35-foot cords and those are great.
Well, these people had upgraded to cordless, so this was 80. We're 80s technology.
Yeah, that's the phones you take to the cabin, so you're not tethered by a cord and filleting a northern pike.
Oh, that's funny.
With the Y bones. Get the Y bones out.
So I want to, let's see, one of the things.
What was the question? I can't even remember now. Did we have a question?
I don't. Oh, where was Chet?
Where was Chet?
I don't know. Is that where we started?
So Chet's taking a little hiatus, but I'm. You know what? He may fit on TikTok. Maybe something, just a quick 20 seconds every day. One of those, hey, beautiful day for a ball game. Today's brought to you by, Thailand. Nothing is illegal in Thailand. This is Chet Waterhouse reminding you to play with pain. Like almost an inspirational kind of daily message might be a good thing to do.
Is there a place where you have all those saved? Like the
Between my producer and I, we probably have most of those somewhere. And I can, rake through them for highlights maybe and do an all highlight thing. I've been thinking about also a book, but I would have to have more traction. I was getting great traction when I was regularly on the Adam Carolla podcast. But then he kind of changed form, but not his fault at all. What happened was we finally got a sponsor for the sports segment. He had been looking. Adam Carolla has a very successful podcast, a multi-platform comedy and interview guy, very successful. And so he was looking to do the sports on his podcast, hadn't had a sponsor. Got a sponsor finally, Bet Online. One of those online services. And he said, let's do this. You do the setups as Chet, with a funny thing about the score and an advertiser. And then I'll wax on about what I think about it. And you and I will chit-chat, and then you can jump in as Jeff, too.
Yeah.
And we're like, finally, after 3 years of having me on once a month to do Chet and getting traction with his audience, we are 2 days into it. It's killing. Everybody's laughing. The other two people there, Gina and Ball Bryan, are howling. The thing's going great. We get a note. The guy from Bet Online says, everything but Chet. I cannot take Chet. I can't stand Chet. So do it, but do it without Chet. And Mike, his agent, tried to stiff arm the guy. Just said, why don't we let the creatives do the creative? One more day. And then the guy said, I can't take it. For whatever reason, I can't take Chet. So then day 4, we have to start doing it with no Chet. So it's just me. And now I'm totally trying to retool. Do I still do the ads? And I tried, and I thought, I tried it in practice, and I thought, no, they don't sound the same. They're not as funny coming out of a regular person's mouth. So, not that I'm a regular person, but so we couldn't really rely on that. And then, but the real linchpin for me creatively, and I really tried to fight through it, was Adam and I have kind of the same approach to sports. I'm not that super knowledgeable. I know college football, I know some NFL, I know college hockey. He knows pro football and like auto racing. Everything else, we're kind of like, yeah, that was kind of weird. We might know a name or two on the roster. We'll know a little bit of the background, but you need that psycho there who knows like the third line of the New York Islanders you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You need that dude to kind of drive the bus on a segment like that, and I'm not that guy. I mean, that would have taken like 3-4 hours a night of homework just to try to stay up on it. And I'm just not that guy naturally. And then it clipped my wings in terms of trying to just be glib and funny, but I'm trying to power through. We go another 5 days. Literally, we're almost about to start the podcast. I mean, we're almost about to start the sports section of the podcast, and we're muscling through, and it's settling in a little bit. We get a call. Bet Online is gone. They're there, but they're in a legal battle. This is back whenever it was, 4 years ago, where gambling was not legal everywhere yet online. So they were suddenly in a fight for their life in New Jersey, and they could not have their name embedded, as a sponsor of the Sportscast.
Oh, boy.
We couldn't, and everything was Bet Online. On this portion of the broadcast brought to you by Bet Online. This is the Bet Online bad catch of the week. Everything was, so we had to yank the segment off the air. In a panic.
Yeah.
Like you can't even mention it. So Adam just said, the hell with it. We can't do it. And we couldn't do it. And then a couple years later, he changed format anyway and shifted. And
yeah.
So I don't know where I'm going with Chet, but it's kind of fun to go, okay, let me just let this settle in. Plus, I had a nice chat with Colin Cowherd, who's a friend, who has a great, successful show on Fox Sports.
Oh, yeah.
And just a great guy, very funny guy. One of the very few guys I can tick off on one hand that I can genuinely count as quality comedy influence in their sports broadcasts. Him, Costas, it gets pretty thin after
Rich
that.
Eisen.
Yeah.
No, I think so.
Yeah. So, we're thin. We're thin at tackle. We're done after that. You know what I mean? So we better move the ball with those three guys. And Colin said, a character can have a shelf life if it doesn't get mega huge. Larry the Cable Guy, a character can have a shelf life. And I just went, well, the best traction I had was the Corolla shot.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite, and I've been humping Chet up a hill for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So I just thought, what? Let's give him a rest. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens naturally. Meantime, I get to kind of get myself out there a little bit. And that's where Chet went.
There we go. I want to get a couple more things here before we run out of time.
Sure.
And that would be...
Well, I think we got time.
Yeah, we do.
We got a good 15, 20 minutes.
One of my favorite things that I do when I have a guest coming is I search their name on eBay. Somebody like you who's been around for more than a few days has some very interesting stuff on eBay.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you one bit.
There's Jeff Cesario memorabilia?
Oh, God, yes.
On eBay?
Oh, God, yes. Absolutely. Including, let's see.
Where's the dude back? Hey, man, let's check, see if we can get a cut of that. Yeah, you look young and smart and energetic. He's full of paint fumes from the home, and I'm like 103. So I'm leaving it up to you. Give me a cut on that eBay crap.
One of the things, there's many of these. There's your special, of course, the DVD special. But then the things that I'm really interested in are these like photos from like Showtime and HBO, like the media photos that were used to promote, all of your various appearances doing comedy. Like this one, for example, is a picture from the 1990s. It's a press photo. 1996 comedians featured on the HBO Half Hour.
Yeah, that was me, Louis C.K. Who else was in that?
On this one, it's upper left-hand corner, Jeff Cesario. Next to him, Dave Attell.
Yeah.
Bottom right, Wendy Liebman.
Oh, man.
Former podcast guest. And then the other person is Ralph Harris.
Oh, Ralph Harris.
Yeah, who back then apparently went by the name Ralph Louis Harris.
Just a brilliant comic, Ralph Harris.
So
that's a good lineup. Those are three crazy talented people and me.
So did you know that all of those episodes are on Max right now, on demand?
No.
Yes.
Wow.
All the seasons.
So you can go see my 1997 HBO Half Hour.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's wild. I may have worn this shirt. Little embarrassing. It was new then. It's vintage now.
Look at that, Jeff.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Close. Not quite the shirt, but very close.
There we go.
My claim to fame in terms of that kind of thing is we had a garage sale in the mid-'90s, and Tommy Shaw of Styx bought one of my flannel shirts. I'm so proud of that. I'm hoping to see him in it still.
I was going to say,
someday.
Wouldn't it be funny to see him on stage? So here's another thing that has been available on eBay for a while.
So it hasn't sold.
It hasn't sold because this guy's trying to sell this thing for $50, and I'm hoping he lowers the price. I'm gonna make him an offer on it, but he hasn't.
Just make him an offer anyway.
So this thing is so cool. I've never seen this anywhere else. It's a promotional poster.
Oh,
can you see that from there?
Yeah, Louis Anderson's
last show,
right?
Live recording of the new album Comedy After the Bomb, which is that even a thing? With special guests Dudley Riggs and host Jeff Cesario. July 28th, First Avenue, 8 p.m. downtown Minneapolis, blah, 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 blah,
What year?
1982.
Wow.
Is what it claims to be from, 1982.
July of 1982?
Yeah.
In the spring of 83, I moved to L.A. Louis moved in the fall of 82, and I moved in the spring of 83.
Do you have any recollection of doing that show?
I do. It was packed. Louis was an absolute master at that, which always eluded me. I just was like, how do you, I have enough trouble just trying to write an act. Louis always mesmerized me on that front, in a frustrating manner at first, I'll admit it. I was like, can't you just work on your act? And then I realized, it's show business. And I tried to learn from him, even though it was grudging probably the first couple of years. But by the time I was in LA 2-3 years, I could see the absolute beauty of what Louis had, which is just business smarts. He knew how to pack a house. He knew how to create a hook. And
it's funny.
He was a brander before that really existed.
I know firsthand as the job that I used to have in radio that he was very good at hey, I'm coming in. Hey, I need to come in. Hey, can you have me on? Hey, like anything that was remotely worth talking about, he wanted to be on as much as possible. To get word out.
Absolutely great.
Get the good relationships with the local
and
media.
And a brilliant comic.
Absolutely.
But I remember that, and I remember Dudley for sure. And those were heady times. And stand-up in Minneapolis. That was some crazy times.
All right.
But I am happy to see that the scene is still incredibly strong, and that Lee is the one who has survived to the max and has a club that is absolutely, positively, nationally cherished by comedians.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get Attell here. You haven't had Dave Attell here?
Oh, yeah. Within the last year or two.
Oh, man, you got to get him on the podcast.
Are you kidding? I would love to.
Oh,
I would love
have
to.
him and Jeffrey Ross come in.
Oh, that would
Their show together is insanity.
I know
it's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Uh-huh.
I could listen to those two guys forever.
I just remembered something I don't want to forget about bringing up.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a hard time here. One of the recent episodes of your podcast, you talked to Greg Proops.
Yes.
Very talented comedian. And you guys are having a conversation. He's like, well, you're from Minneapolis. You jumped in pretty darn quick to correct him about not being from Minneapolis.
Well, because I don't want my audience to think I'm trying to carp from two places here. I'm not catching fish in two ponds. I'm from Wisconsin, but I did go on to very clearly say Minneapolis was my comedy hometown.
You did,
which is what I've always said.
Yeah.
Minneapolis is my comedy hometown. Yeah. But I'm from the great state of Wisconsin.
I yelled at my stereo when I was listening to the
You
podcast.
did.
And I was like, maybe we don't claim you, Jeff, all right?
See, but this is why you're from Minnesota, because you jump to conclusions. And within 18 seconds, I had that all straightened out for you.
You absolutely did. All right, one final thing
man.
that I have to bring up here. We'll try to get this in quick here. This is one of the things when I was searching your name, and I'm shocked. I feel like I've heard you mention stuff about this in the past, but I want the details. ESPN once wrote an article about these basketball games at Gary Shandling's house.
Yes.
And so there was this big article about it, and one of the, let's see here, someone named David, this long interview, someone named David Merkin.
Yes.
Executive producer of Newhart, The Simpsons. He played in these basketball games at Gary Shandling's house in the early 90s. Now, he is interviewed in this he talks in this interview and says, there was once a rebound. We all go under the net. This very funny comedian, Jeff Cesario, jumps up to get the ball, and he comes down and lands on, it's not even accurate to say lands, but he just touches the side of my sneaker and snaps his ankle.
Yeah.
I stopped playing because I felt so guilty.
Only Merkin would feel guilty over that. I'm the one who jumped. I'm the one who landed in an uncoordinated fashion on his shoe. Although legally very smart, he claims I just brushed his shoe. Yeah.
When's the last time you thought about this?
He also did Romy and Michelle's high school
Reunion, oh yeah.
Reunion.
Oh, okay.
That's his, which is a brilliant little movie.
Yeah.
Tremendous movie. Merkin, very funny. I also broke a thumb there on Al Franken's chest. Al Franken was in Gary Shandling's basketball game, and he's a bull.
Yeah.
Franken is a
former
bull.
wrestler, I think, right? High school or college wrestler.
And that's the way he plays basketball. He ain't messing around. He dribbles one hand, and he's got one hand free to get you in a full Nelson. He's not messing around.
Okay.
And I took a stab at stealing the ball because he dribbles real high. I don't know why, but, especially people from the upper Midwest, they got this big so I went in to get it. The ball was too high. I missed it, went under it, jammed my thumb on his chest, which I'm sure Al didn't even feel. Because it's literally like a brass breastplate. At that, I just clank, snap my thumb, pull it back, the ball drops back into his hand. And I'm just like, ow, I think I broke it. So, yeah, those were the two things that but I would just go to the hospital and get it patched up.
Sounds like they maybe needed a first aid service right on the court there. I read the whole thing, and there were many injuries that occurred during these games.
We needed someone who played a doctor on TV there. That's who we needed. Yeah, we needed like Clooney, or maybe Howie Mandel would have probably been more appropriate for the game as a comic. Yeah, get him there with a kit, and let him patch guys up. One of the funniest things I ever said was at that basketball game. Oddly enough, it was. Brad Pitt was playing for some reason this one day, and of course I'm riding the pines. You let the big celebs play, you let the big boys do it, and he just happened to hit a game-winning shot from 30 feet out. He just threw a rainbow up, and in my Chet voice, I just went, "Take that, Tom Cruise!" And that was the biggest laugh I ever got on any basketball court. So
Brad Pitt hates you now.
No, I haven't run into him since. If I may use the phrase "run into," all wrong.
How good of a bad of a player was Gary Shandling that he's hosting these
really
games?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, very good player. Constant chatter, but not the, what do they call it in pros? Smack talk?
Yeah.
No, not that talk, just hilarious talk. Comedy talk constantly. Oh, I hit my foot. Oh, I think something's wrong with my finger. Don't guard me so close. What are you doing? I'm going to try a hook shot, but go the other way. It was constant. It was hilarious. It was hard to guard.
I love it.
It was really hard. And that's all I had going for me. I was what coaches used to call coachable, which meant you had no game.
Yeah.
Especially no offense.
Oh,
just get down on D, slap the floor with both your palms, and get to work, buddy.
Let's go.
That's right.
Game time.
That's right.
Yeah,
man.
I know all about that. I loved baseball growing up. A for effort, D- in talent. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Natural ability at the game, non-existent.
No, not at all.
No.
All right. Let's put a bow on this thing, people. We're going to get this out today, especially we're doing this earlier in the day. Come
on down.
You will have already gone to play Password on K-Fan with Dan Cole.
That's right.
I hope you did wonderful. It's in the future right
I'm
now in the
sure
past.
I did.
People are hearing
I'm going
this.
to make a bold prediction that I will come close to winning. They will rob me of it, but it will be entertaining. It would be my...
I'll be listening for no doubt. So thank you once again for doing this.
Oh, man, my pleasure.
People got to come see your shows this weekend, Friday, Saturday, 2 shows each night here at Acme.
New material.
Excellent. Follow you on social media. Keep an eye out for this book, apparently.
Yeah, I'm going to, as soon as I get an agent, we're going to go get to, and boy, is it going to make a great movie. I mean, a killer movie. It'll be a franchise. Because it's a very erudite, it's like Frasier. It's like that level of erudite quality to the dog. He doesn't know how to be a dog. When he has to run away from somebody, he's like, oh my, how does this work? He literally has no idea.
So the movie will have someone like voicing the inner voice or something?
No, the animals can talk to each other.
Oh,
the humans can't hear them. All the animals can talk to each other.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Thank you, Jeff.
You got it. Bye-bye.
Oh, you're the best.